Hello and welcome to the big picture. The president's rule has been imposed on Uttarakhand and the assembly has been kept under suspended animation. The decision to do so was taken by the Union Cabinet yesterday as it felt that the Congress government headed by Harish Rawat had lost its majority and therefore its continuation was said to be unconstitutional and immoral. Harish Rawat, who has been facing dissensions within the party, was to prove his majority on the floor of the assembly today as directed by Governor K.K.Paul last week. However, a day before the assembly show of strength, the government decided to impose the president's rule. This controversial decision is bound to be tested in the apex court. However, we will discuss today why the president's rule was imposed and whether it is justified both politically and legally and what are the consequences of this decision. To discuss this, I have with me Syed Zafarm, National Spokesperson of the BJP, K.N.Bhat, Senior Advocate, Supreme Court, Pushpesh, Pant, Political Analyst, and Satya, Prakash, Legal Editor, Hindustan Times. Welcome to all of you. Mr. Bhat, it's very interesting that the
Yes.
cabinet decision said that, his continuation, this
Hello.
government... Yes, can you hear me, sir? Can you hear
The
me?
voice is cracking, Girish.
Okay, we'll fix that and I'll come back to you. Mr. Syed Zafarm, the Harish Rawat, in fact, was supposed to prove his majority or otherwise on the floor of the House today. The criticism is, where was the hurry? Why was there such a hurry to impose a president's rule yesterday?
Well, Mr. Girish, you must remember that on 18th what happened. It is important for us to discuss what had happened on 18th. When there was a complete constitutional breakdown on 18th, there was a division of vote, the appropriation bill was not passed, and the moment appropriation bill was not passed, the government was in minority, and there was absolutely no right for the Congress government in Uttarakhand to continue. They should have resigned on that that day. But they didn't do that. They actually resorted to practice, which you have all seen in the camera, that what Mr. Harish Rawat was doing and resorting to, and what his speaker had done was absolutely unconstitutional, and he should have not resorted to such thing. Having said that, it was the duty or incumbent on the central government to take charge of the situation and take care of the expenses to be borne by the state from the 1st of April, because there was no appropriation bill has been passed by the Legislative Assembly. And it is very evident that 35 votes were in favor and against the appropriation bill, and 32 votes were in favor of appropriation bill. And it is now out in open, and why Harish Rawat was continuing is something which needs to be debated rather than why the president rule was imposed on yesterday.
Mr.
Because there was no way that it could have continued. Anyway, it is being tested in this apex court.
Mr. Zafarm, one
legally,
second. No, Mr.
constitutionally, politically, every point of view, if you analyze, it was not constitutional to carry out.
Mr. Zafarm, on 19th of March, 18th this happened on the floor of the assembly. 19th of March, the governor, calls upon the chief minister to prove his majority on March 28th. So, and in the light of the Supreme Court, earlier Supreme Court decisions, don't you think you should have allowed that process to have gone through?
Mr. Girish, that's why I want to again bring out what happened on 18th. When the appropriation bill was not passed, what was the need for even continuing the Congress government in Uttarakhand?
No, you are saying...
The moral obligation on the part of the Congress government to resign on that very day.
Okay.
But they wanted to resort to unfair practice, and that's why they wanted to continue, which was something which the president has realized and imposed the president rule in Uttarakhand.
Okay.
You have seen.
Mr. Zafarm, I'll come back to you.
You should see that what happened in Arunachal Pradesh. They also made a lot of speculation, a lot of noise in the public space.
Mr. Zafarm, will you please listen to me? Will you please listen to me? Let me get let me get other points of view also.
Please.
Okay.
Please.
Mr. Bhat, how do you look at this thing in the context of the Bombay judgment? Do you think that what has happened is legally justifiable?
See, Bommai's case and this has got one vital difference. And that is, in the case of Bommai, the then governor of Karnataka, he sent a report saying that he heard reports from various quarters that Bommai has lost majority. There is nothing to prove. In the present case in Uttarakhand, however, 9 members have already been suspended. So out of the 60 or something which is there, 25, and as it is now, it is the going through the vote of confidence was a mere formality and there was no meaning, unlike in the case of Bommai. Bommai was a totally different situation. Those were the days when anything was sufficient to impose president's rule. As you know, we have a record of scoring over a century of president's rule during the course of another few years. But that apart, here in this case, I don't think that there anything could be. See, more importantly, now Uttarakhand, there is no appropriation bill actually passed. Even though the speaker appears to be saying that it has been passed, but it is not. So nobody
Bhatt,
will get salary in Uttarakhand.
Mr. Bhatt, my question is this. You know, speakers, what is the role of the speaker here? The speaker says, the speaker has actually done one second. Speaker has done 2-3 things. On March 18th, he said that the appropriation bill has been passed. And according to several rulings in the past and your own statements here on this program on different other occasions, is the speaker's decision final as far as these issues are concerned? If they are final, then if they are not final, then who will decide what he has done is correct or not?
Girish, you are right. It is an important area of constitutional law which has been in sort of a considerable amount of doubt. Undoubtedly, Speaker is the boss of the House. What he says has to be taken as the correct situation. But in this case, what the picture that we get is that the truth and what has been presented appears to be totally different, because on 18th, the bill was not even presented. Question of passing does not arise. But anyway, that is a different thing. What I am telling you that ultimately, as the law today, the speaker, whatever he says that this has happened in the House, has to be accepted. And that would have happened today, coming back to today's voice,
today.
Confidence vote.
Yes.
The speaker could have come and said that, look, I declare that the government has got the majority. Because, these are all matters which, unfortunately, the certain officers have not lived up to the expectations.
That's right.
What is Constitution expects them to do.
Okay, I'll come back, sir. I'll come back to you. I'll come back to you.
I personally,
Mr. Bhatt, I'll come back to you. We are joined in now by Kishor Upadhyay, the Uttarakhand PCC president, on the phone line from Dehradun. Mr. Upadhyay, it is being said that what happened on March 18th was completely unconstitutional. The president, the government was forced to take this decision to impose president's rule because the appropriation bills have not been passed. The whole system will collapse if not this had been done. How do you respond to that?
No, they are misleading the country. They are misleading you and everybody. Just now, as Mr. Bhatt has said, who is the boss of the assembly? Who has to decide? The speaker is the boss of the assembly, and that is a constitutional institute, quasi-constitutional institute, and they are raising doubts, questions about the speaker and about the assembly. It is very sad. This is whatever is happening. They don't have any reason imposing president rule in Uttarakhand. That's why they are saying so many things. This is the Draculian hunger or thirst of Mr. Modi about the Congress government. See, from Arunachal Pradesh to Uttarakhand, you see what happened in Bihar. Why are they doing such kind of things? They don't believe in the people, in the voters. They believe in money power. They believe in muscle power.
No,
And whatever happened here, it's
Upadhyay,
very shameful
Mr.
for
Upadhyay,
Mr. Modi and Mr. Shah.
Mr. Upadhyay, my question is this: the speaker, one of the biggest controversies here, and in fact one of the reasons why the central government, the center got a handle to impose president's rule was the way the speaker conducted himself on the floor of the house. When division was sought, he refused to go in for a division. Isn't that something which is a cause for serious concern? Don't you think that the speaker there was not acting exactly, in an unbiased manner there?
That's an excuse of central government, especially Mr. Modi. If you see the proceedings of the House on that day, all the bills, different ministries bill were passed by voice vote, or same happened with this appropriation bill. This happened when appropriation bill was passed. This happened after that.
What
not
happened
before
after?
that.
What happened
and
after?
that is in the proceedings. You can see the videography. You can see the proceedings of the House.
Now, coming to videography, there is a sting video which has come out, showing your chief minister in not a very good light. That is also another reason which is being cited for imposition of the president's rule.
So may I request Mr. Bhat, what happened in Madhya Pradesh, in Gujarat when Mr. Modi was chief minister and Mr. Amit Shah was home minister? Our daughter, girl, what happened with her and what not telecasted that time. So that time Mr. Modi didn't resign, Mr. Amit Shah didn't resign. That time they were not having morality. Now they should have some morality after dismissing the Uttarakhand government. Mr. Narendra Modi or Mr. Amit Shah should resign.
No, Mr. Upadhyay, are you confirming that that video which has been aired and which is being shown everywhere is something which has happened, and you're trying to defend yourself, saying that it has happened in the past when somebody else has done it, so we are also doing it. Is that your justification?
No. Our CLP leader, Mr. Harish Rawat, categorically denied this is false, fabricated, morphed. And even that if that is true, what criminality is there?
Okay.
Has he taken some money? Has he given some money? What happened there? What is the criminal offense?
Okay. So you don't think there is any criminal offense, Mr.
Now, what is criminal offense?
Okay. Mr. Upadhyay, I'll come back to you. Please stay on, I'll come back to you. Let me get others also. Professor Pant.
There are 3 or 4 issues which we must clearly understand at the outset. I think morality doesn't come into the picture at all.
But the decision of the Union Cabinet says it was unconstitutional, immoral.
No, let me start with this.
Yes.
That's where I say the central government has no business bringing morality into this.
Yes.
This is not a morality play. We are talking in terms of what constitutional provisions are, what should have been constitutionally done and properly done to keep the law intact. As far as I am concerned, it is not a question of 2 wrongs make 1 right. But I do think that with Mr. Bhat concedes, however grudgingly, that the Speaker, according to the Constitution, is the ultimate authority. Don't call him a boss. Ultimate supreme authority within the House. And what happens in the House, he is the ultimate arbiter. It cannot be challenged in any court of law. The only redress is that you can try to impeach him when you get the opportunity.
Right.
So I think as far as that part is concerned, we cannot possibly say that what the Speaker did within his constitutional remit can be challenged in a court of law, etc. The second problem is that it is not a question of morality at all. I mean, what leaves me amazed is that after the Bombay judgment, the majority of any party is to be proved on the floor of the House.
Right.
What I find absolutely disgusting, amazing and distressing is that the governor seems to have come off the worst in this whole episode. He gives a date for the test of majority, then he sends a recommendation to the centre to say impose
President's rule
here, and then leaves
And
everybody confused.
before that date.
Before that date. So had he really been so concerned
बोलो,
about
अगर
the
BJP को नहीं-
breakdown of constitutional machinery in Uttarakhand Assembly, he should have, instead of giving a date, sent a report to the central government, to the president, that the constitutional breakdown has taken place. That's number one. Number two, I do not think that I like the phrase, the president realized, ex post facto. President doesn't realize. He acts on the information provided to him
Right.
by his agent, the governor in a state. The governor holds office till the pleasure of the president. He is not answerable to anybody else. So I think in this particular case, there have been several things which leave a very bad taste in the mouth. But as far as the settled law is concerned, and I think Mr. Bhat will reinforce what I am suggesting, that after the Bombay judgment, the majority is to be proved on the floor of the House. Whatever may be the crucial difference in that case and this case, there is no challenge.
The basic thing doesn't
Absolutely.
change. Satya, how do you look at this? You know, the governor's report, the first governor's decision to ask the chief minister to prove his majority on a certain date, and then what happens before that. One of the things which is there in the governor's report, which apparently was the reason for the union cabinet also taking note of it, is that possible pandemonium which may be caused on the floor of the House during the trial of strength.
Narasimha Rao famously refused to impose president rule in Uttar Pradesh in December 1992, and on the ground that till the time actual demolition had taken place, there was no reason to dismiss the government. Why? Because the constitutional machinery has failed. He could not conclude. And why? Because he said the state government had given an undertaking to the Supreme Court and there was no reason to disbelieve the government's undertaking. Having said that, I am saying in this case also.
So you are saying that
I am
this should not be presumed.
Presume. On the presumption of constitutional machinery might fail, on this presumption you cannot dismiss a government. In this case, nobody disputes that what happened in the assembly. The speaker's refusal to go for division, that was wrong. Nobody disputes that what the kind of situation that has arisen now, that the state government employees cannot be paid salary and all, that's unprecedented for that state. All these things are correct, but so far as this majority of the government to be tested is concerned, it has to be on the floor of the House. Otherwise, you will have this kind of ambiguity, and anywhere in any state you can impose president rule. That should be avoided. In this case, as Professor Pant has suggested, the governor, if he has given a date to the state government, to the chief minister to prove his majority, he should have stuck to that. And thereafter, if he is sending a report to the government, then he should be explaining properly what all things that have happened between the date the day he gave a date to the government, and then and the time when he is sending the report. I think he has not explained that properly, and the governor, he has somehow he doesn't inspire so much confidence. But at the same time, I would say that entire episode, what has happened here, what has happened in before that in Arunachal Pradesh, in the entire episode of president's rule being imposed here and there, now and then, the institution of a speaker, that and the institution of governor, both these institutions, they no more inspire confidence in them. The entire political, in any state, any political crisis, governor and the speaker, both
the two crucial
players, and both of these institutions, they somehow, all the time they go up.
Okay, Syed Zafar, this is the problem here, that that here is a judgment, the Supreme Court, 1994. Since then, more or less, it has been, we have seen that having been followed quite faithfully by most of the governments which have come after that. But here is a case where it seems as if that law which the Supreme Court had enunciated is being clearly, overruled. Mr. Zafar.
Mr. Girish,
Yes.
Are you asking
I'm sorry,
me,
but
Girish?
I will,
I'll come to
all
you,
the
sir.
panelists, I just want to, Mr. Girish.
Yes.
I want to bring up to speed to all the panelists that as someone, I don't know who, but someone did mention that the MLAs had asked for division of votes, but that was not being acceded, their requests have not been acceded to by the speaker. what was the reason why the speaker was behaving in a partisan manner? That is one question which I would like to everyone to answer. Second, the important question which the Congress PCC president was saying, if the speaker feels that it has been passed, the appropriation bill has been passed, then where is the appropriation bill? Why chief minister or the speaker has not sent it to the governor for his assent? It clearly shows that appropriation bill has not been passed on the floor of the assembly. Third thing, it is wide and open, very apparent that the 9 MLAs from the Congress party are against their own leadership and against the government. Where is the question of them being, they will be able to pass the appropriation? But it was very clear that 35 votes were against, and only 32 at all would have gone in their favor. So there, it's when
Mr. Zafar,
complete constitutional breakdown, then it was incumbent of the
Yes, you made that point, Mr. Upadhyay. Would you respond to that? Would you respond to that? Because they're saying that appropriation bill has not been passed. And it has not gone to the governor for. Yes.
I do not agree with Mr. Jaffa. Appropriation bill was passed. It is lying with the honorable governor at the moment, and this.
Why didn't the speaker and the chief minister had sent it to the governor?
He is saying it is not to the governor. Mr. Zafar, please listen to him. Please listen to him. Don't respond. Please listen to him.
I am responding. It is lying with the honorable governor. That's why we went today along with 34 MLAs that kindly give the assent to the bill. We went to honorable governor. It is lying with him. I will tell you categorically. The other thing about 9 MLA you are talking, they raised the hands when the bill was passed after that. And finally, who will take the decision about the bill? It has been already explained by so many, Professor Pant, etc., the panelist. He is the final authority what's happening in the assembly.
Mr. Upadhyay, one more question to you. The speaker suspends or rather expels these MLAs yesterday after the president's rule was imposed. I mean,
but this assembly in suspended animation, who put? Mr. Narendra Modi.
Okay.
Not here. And another thing, when honorable governor has asked the chief minister to prove your majority today, what was the need to impose president rule yesterday?
Correct. Well, that is a very valid question you're asking, Mr. Bhatt. Mr. Bhatt, the question is that a few questions. One, when the governor had given a date for proving the majority on the floor of the House, that was today, 28th of March. How is it justified to impose president's rule a day before that? You think that there is justification for that?
Some developments might have taken place about which we have no knowledge. Number two.
One second. Sir, one second. Just please listen to me. Whatever knowledge we have of the report which the governor has sent, on the basis of which the Union Cabinet seems to have taken the decision, is that he says that there is a presumption that there is possibility of pandemonium on the floor of the House when the trial of strength takes place. You think such a presumption can be the ground on which president's rule can be imposed?
Yeah, it is possible, because I tell you one thing.
We have seen even in Arunachal Pradesh, Mr. Girish, what has happened.
If it fails, it is
Congress was making hue and cry. Eventually, they realized that
Mr. Zafar, please let Mr. Bhatt speak.
Acting against them.
Please let Mr. Bhatt speak. Yes, Mr. Bhatt.
Let Mr. Bhatt speak, but I just wanted to intervene to also
Bhatt,
highlight
Mr.
that
Zafar,
what had
please.
happened in Arunachal Pradesh also is a precedence for the Congress party to realize how their leadership is functioning.
Mr. Zafar, please, can we hear by Mr. Bhatt, please?
Mr. Zafar.
Please. Yes, Mr. Bhatt.
Yeah.
Okay, sure. Go ahead, please.
See, the appropriation bill, if it were to fail, it was equivalent to a no confidence motion.
Yes, that's right.
Being a money bill.
That's right.
You remember that?
Yes.
And during that time, when a division is asked for, it was the duty of the speaker to put it to take the division.
Right.
And if it is not done, then there itself is a constitutional machinery. There
Yes.
the speaker is not the boss to that extent. Last time when I began my prefaced my talk, I did not have a chance to say this
Absolutely.
much. That is to say, speaker, there may be no court which can challenge him, but if unconstitutionally, if somebody is acting, then the president is the ultimate authority which he can exercise, and these are matters which cannot be
No, 1 second, sir. Mr. Bhatt, Mr. Bhatt.
discussed and decided over as a morality.
No, Mr. Bhatt. One
Yes.
because issue is of
Yes,
actually
please.
the Union Cabinet says that the government is unconstitutional and immoral. The Union Cabinet in its decision brings a morality issue. How is morality issue?
You see, I had an occasion, Girish, to look into this type of communication. That is the one report alone. There are a number of annexures and documents. It is a fairly bulky file which the governor generally spends. So I don't know what it is here.
Okay.
And in that, there are a number of matters which are mentioned, which, for example, this sting operation, I don't know whether it has come in the governor's report, or whether the possibility of a pandemonium in the house is a real assessment which the governor can, that will be. And after all, today, the house is kept under animated suspension and it has not been dissolved.
No,
So
that is
we have
right.
got time.
No,
we have
that's
got
right.
time to,
That is
to
right.
say that,
That's right. But you again.
because instead of having a butt bath in the house, and suppose something
No, but Mr. Bhatt,
anticipatory remedy is
Mr.
better
Bhatt,
than.
Mr. Bhatt, 1 second. Do you honestly think that this decision has is the true spirit and letter and spirit of the Bombay judgment has been kept under consideration?
I say yes.
Okay. On that note,
I say yes.
Satya.
It has been, there was no other option.
Okay, sir. Satya, very quickly.
Well, illegality on the part of the speaker, that he refused to go for division of votes, that's illegal. But the governor, once he gave a date, he should have actually waited till
allowed it
today.
to happen.
Because this gives an impression as if something is being done at the behest of the central government to to unseat a democratically elected government.
I'm in entire agreement with Satya Prakash ji, because I think it's absurd for anybody to suggest that the president acts on his own suo moto. He is bound by the advice given to him by the Union Cabinet, and the Union Cabinet gets a report from the governor. And I think the unfortunate part in this whole case is that lots of lapses have been there, which smack strongly of constitutional impropriety.
Okay, sir. I think on that note, we need to end it. This is as everybody points out, this is something which will ultimately go to the court, but that a government has been dismissed, and what will happen later we'll have to wait and watch. But this is a controversy which we'll have to keep a close watch on how it will evolve. Thanks to all my guests. Please keep watching. We'll come back with another issue on The Big Picture same time tomorrow.